If you want to study arts and the humanities from now on, you're going to have to pay for it yourself. This is the effect of the government's proposed changes to tertiary education funding. Essentially more than doubles the cost to what students will have to pay out of pocket for humanities courses, but slashes what the government deems to be job-relevant courses. I mean, the government has a good idea of what they think are going to be job-relevant courses in the future, but in a future governed by AI and emergent technologies, I don't think they really know that much better than anyone else what's actually going to happen in the future. There's a really dangerous idea at the heart of this, which is the presupposition that your only value to society is what you can generate in economic output. What it says to someone that studied the humanities is, we don't give a shit about what you want. We want you to produce and consume, you pleb. Get to it. I think it's pretty paternalistic for a government that claims to be conservative and, you know, really appreciates everyone's freedoms and freedom of speech, for them to turn around and say, unless you're basically the son or daughter of a very wealthy family, it is a price signal that you can't study the humanities. All office jobs essentially rely on soft skills, teamwork, critical thinking skills, collaboration. They are things that you pick up when learning arts. The Minister for Education, Dan Tehan, had some interesting things to say about it. Please roll the clip, future George.
Why the decision to do this?
Look, what we want to do is first make sure that we've got additional places in the system, because we know as a result of the coronavirus pandemic, we're going to see more demand for places in the higher education system. And also we want to incentivise students to undertake courses that will give them the skills to take the jobs of the future. We need young Australians to help us grow our economy through the devastation of the coronavirus pandemic. And what this is all about is incentivising people to look at teaching, to look at nursing, to look at allied health, to look at engineering, to look at IT, because we know the jobs of the future. If you're going to do philosophy, we want you to think about doing a language. If you're going to do ancient Greek, do IT with it.
In case you're wondering, there's not some deluge of students wanting to study arts. According to a Grattan Institute report from 2018, that number as a percentage of total students has gone down over time. It's not like it makes up a particularly huge area of the budget. And it's, you know what? Call me crazy. I think it's good to have people that are out there that can think critically, that can read the news, that can understand things. I understand why Dan Tehan wouldn't want those things. If people can think critically, then, you know, they're not going to vote for the LNP. But the point is, if you're looking for any modern office job, in terms of the criteria, a lot of it will just say, well, we want you to have a bachelor's degree in something. Not necessarily specifying exactly what. A Bachelor of Arts is a perfect way for someone to get into the tertiary education system, understand academic rigour, understand critical thinking, get an understanding about the arts and literature, and become a full human being that becomes a more productive member of society, that knows and understands their place in the world and can vote and be an active community member. It helps with all of those things. It is a societal good for us to have more educated people in society. You know, university is not a job training factory. The purpose of education is not to train you for a vocation specifically. If you want that, go to TAFE. That's what TAFE is for. You want to go and become a carpenter, you want to go and become a plumber, here are the skills you need to do that thing, and then you get the skills and you go off and do that thing. Some people are, you know, their disposition is they want to be artists. And if that's what they want to do, then God bless them. There's not a lot of money in it, but they know that going into it. Just purely on the economic argument, I don't think you could disagree that if J.K. Rowling had gone into nursing rather than becoming a writer, and generating more income than a small African island nation, that the world would be better off. You need these people. The humanities are the things that bring colour to our lives. Dan Tehan, the Minister for Education, who studied an arts degree, and he said, "When I did my arts degree, looking back, I wish that I had done a language. It nearly cost me the opportunity of getting a job." Nearly being the extremely operative word there, Dan. I don't know if it's a really good message to say to people, don't get a humanities degree, you won't be nothing, just the Minister of Education. I just had it in my mind that for some reason we would be paying an amount of money that was actually tethered to the amount of cost that was part of delivering the degree. But I guess not. Apparently money doesn't mean anything. I think it's pretty unconscionable for the people that have been most affected by the negative changes in the economy and the job market, being young people, to have to bear the burden of the highest debt going forward historically just to go and study what it is they want to study. I think that's completely unconscionable. There's a great book by Fareed Zakaria called In Defense of Liberal Education, which goes into a lot of this stuff in a lot more detail. It's available freely online if you Google it. I'll include a link below as well. It lays this problem out in detail. It's nothing more than a conservative way of hacking some money out of lefties that they don't like. That's what it seems like to me. And to do this in a pretty inopportune time, being in the middle of a pandemic, seems particularly grotesque to me. Maybe that's why they're jangling the keychain of cyber attacks to distract us. Who knows? Thank you for joining us on a daily edition of Everything is Terrible with George. We look forward to seeing you in the next episode, and make sure you put your comments down below on how I'm a paid shill. Would love to be a paid shill. Peace!